You've told me before, a member of the EDL. You bought into all of their messages. What is their message to start with? I mean, I'm familiar with some of the more obvious examples, but the message is all Muslims are part of the crimes committed by criminals who happen to be Muslims.
Right, you're never going to get this
No, I'm
publicly spoken by the EDL, because it's even they have an image to maintain that they don't want to be branded as racist, despite that's exactly what they are. And I can say that as a former member, quite an influential member as well.
Okay.
I won't dive too deeply.
No, fair enough.
James, I'm going to have to ask you, please, if you want to hear the truth, you're going to have to promise not to judge me, because it's not how I am anymore.
Come on. I promise.
Yeah, we'd count that as a win, mate. New Zealand would be a win for us. That would be a win. We'd be happy about that. I would have.
I'm not shocked. I've seen stuff saying it's vengeance. They had it coming. It's retaliation.
Can I tell you something about your last caller? And I don't want to gang up on you, because, and it's funny you mention Akala, because he's a man that I really, really look up to. He's from the same sort of area as I was. I used to be from. He's mind-blowingly intelligent, that guy. And I think you are as well. But
not as clever as him, but I'll take the compliment.
Do you know what? I'm going to agree with you. I'm sorry. But yeah.
Thanks a bunch, pal. No kidding.
But listen, I really respect you, and I really, really do respect you. Like a ridiculous man. I listen to you every single day. I've read your book. I even hung about the LBC studios one day. I've missed you by about a minute, man, because I wanted you to sign my book.
You'll get me next time.
Yeah, I'll get you, don't I? But listen, one of the things that changed my mind was one of the things, and oh, man, right? You know, Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
And, trust me on this, right? Spider-Man, Uncle Ben tells him, with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
Dude, you have got so much power. You have got so much power, and you're not using it to its full potential. You're doing a brilliant job. Fantastic. You're doing more than anyone. But you're not exposing it as much as you could be. What changed my mind a massive amount was when you and Farage went toe-to-toe. And, man, you destroyed him. You made him
But only
look
to you,
ridiculous.
pal, not to his fans.
No, mate, because I was
Go
one
on
of them.
YouTube, you'll find loads of people claiming that he somehow...
You're never going to change them all.
All right,
you're never going to change them all. But is it better to change 1 in 100 or none?
But just because you came out of that having jumped in one way, if you were more embedded, less, I don't want to say intelligent, that doesn't really help anybody's cause, but you could have gone the other way, you know?
Yeah, maybe.
And also, doesn't it make me, and but I don't want to be yin to really ugly yang, because I'm not.
I disagree with you.
I don't know how interesting this is for other listeners, but it's very helpful for me.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Fair enough.
Listen, like I say, you are doing more than anyone. You are doing more than anyone. And listen, I drive people crazy.
I'm a white middle-class bloke, so I mean, I'm not doing as much as people who are neither of those things, but I do my bit. I try to.
I just think there are people that you're not going to change their mind. There are people that you're not going to change their mind. And I can't argue with that. There are people that are always going to blame someone else for their problems.
Why did you?
And that's going to spiral into hatred. Dude, I was out of work, or when I was in work, it was for short spats of time. I was earning rubbish money. I was in a miserable relationship. I surrounded myself with other miserable people because I found myself sitting down the pub, and the only other people that were sitting down the pub was other miserable people. Became friends with these people, and it's an echo chamber. Then you end up being friends with them on Facebook. You start seeing things that they've liked. It's such a spiral, and it's so fast. It is so fast. It doesn't help that. I mean, I'm going to bring another thing into it. My father, we've spoke briefly about my father before, extremely racist man. That didn't help, you know, so that the seed was already there. These guys gave it a bit of soil, Facebook gave it a bit of water, and all of a sudden I'm in the light and I'm this big oak tree, and I'm this big, nasty, hateful, racist oak tree. Yeah. And you're not going to cut it down with one swing of the axe. It's not going to happen. You've got to take your time. It's one branch at a time, one leaf at a time, if that's all you can do. But it's... I removed myself, and I'll be completely honest, there's a couple of things I've told you before. I met a fantastic woman that we're now married, James.
Good, congratulations.
Thank you very much. No commiserations for her, I'm afraid. I met her, and that took a bit of focus off of everything because
well, you felt
brought the
lucky.
life out of
You
us,
felt
to be
lucky,
honest.
and you hadn't felt lucky for years, from what I've just heard.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And she pushed me for more. She pushed me, look, you're worth more than the job you do. I was knocking on people's doors selling gas and electric and double glazing. She said, you're worth more than this. You can do better than that. Not putting anyone down that does that for a living, but I had more potential than that. You can do better. So I started earning more money, started spending more time at work. That's when I stumbled across LBC. There was a guy that I worked with, listened to LBC. You were on the radio, and this was sort of May 2016, so just as all the Brexit stuff was kicking off. And this, I believe that's the sort of time, I may be wrong, but that's roughly when you had a row with Farage. That changed a lot for me, because he was a guy that, like I say, I might have seen it late, I might have come to the party late, but...
and then you thought, look how flimsy these ludicrous arguments are when they're exposed to a bit of proper questioning. And then I get downcast because it hasn't worked. I mean, the example you choose, I don't know if you noticed, Brexit...
It's easy to prove it hasn't worked, though. It's easy to prove it hasn't worked, because there are so many people that are never going to change their mind.
Yes.
They're not our job. We can't change them. The world is never going to be free of racism. The world is never going to be free of fascists. And that's unfortunately a cross that we have to bear. That's something
the ancient hatreds will always bubble under the surface.
It's always going to be there. It's always going to be there.
And that's what political correctness was designed for, isn't it? To keep a lid on it.
100%.
I didn't understand that properly.
I used to say that. It's political correctness gone mad. And you think, actually, like health and safety, it's political correctness, I've got to wear this high-vis jacket. Well, no, actually, the lorry driver's less likely to clump you.
Owning the libs by getting run over.
You're drip fed. Like you've said this 100 times. It's the headlines. It's the catchphrases and things like that just get you. Even the name Britain First, right? The right-wing fundamentalists that even EDL look at and think, well, no, we're not part of that. Even they are a bit too much for EDL. Just the name Britain First